Hi guys, I'm Carly from Carly's Creative Clay. On a lot of my projects on my video I use this swirly pattern clay. Now I want to make a standalone video showing you just how to do that step, so then I can pre-make it in all the future videos and put a link to this so I don't have to show it pretty much every other week. It's a lot. Now you can have as many colours and shades as you want, as many sticks of clay. These are preconditioned, rolled out to about the same sort of length. You don't want them too thin, you want to be able to handle them without them flopping everywhere and sticking together. So that's where I'm at with it. Yeah, I've done 10 because it's the easiest number to show you how to do this with, but I've gone up to about 50 different shades and colours. Totally fine. What you've got to do as your first stage is your colours need to be in either groups of 2 or 3. Can't go to 4, can't use 1. So the reason why I've done 10 is to show you that you can mix and match your 2s and 3s. So we've got a group of 3, so 2 together, and when you're doing a third one you're putting it on top to make like a little triangle stack, whoops, down like that. Yeah, so it's in between the 2 bottom colours, and 2 obviously you're just going to push them together. Doesn't really matter what colours you put together, they're all going to end up mixed up in the end. But yeah, 2s and 3s. So no matter how many sticks, you can end up with loads of these. This is what I'm starting with. Your first thing to do is to twist together each of your stacks. So I'm going to move these ones out the way up the top a bit and get started on this one. Push it so that they're firmly stuck together. You're going to hold one end still like this, and then you roll on your table like that. If you sit there doing that the whole time, you're going to really have huge pain through your arms before you even get through a small amount. So just push and roll. You want even thickness of twists through the whole thing, so if there's a bit that's looking a bit loose and baggy, just hold either side and twist on that bit. If you get cracks, that's fine, just push them back together. Even if it breaks, you want the twist to go all the way up to the end of each of the stick like that. So let's quickly do this with all of them. Push them down together firm. If you're doing a triangle, I push on the top and along the side, so you haven't got to flip it all through the 3 different sides like that and push down. It just needs to be stuck okay. Hold and roll. If you use 4 together, what you'll find is one of the sticks of colour will stay as a straight line and then 3 will twist around them. Again, break like that, absolutely fine, just push it back together. That will tend to break again, so what I do is I hold on the break and then continue rolling and then roll the other side of the break like that. But so long as they're roughly twisted together, it doesn't matter. It does not need to be perfect. Let's line those up a bit. You want to try and make sure that the top and bottom are level, or you'll end up with bits sticking out the top that aren't twisted. But it goes through pretty quick. Push the little broken bits, make sure it's spun all the way through, and even big cracks, just absolutely fine. Like that. It just means I haven't conditioned properly that clay, but it will get conditioned a lot with what we're about to do to it. So again, not a big deal. There we go. Right, now again, we're going to be matching these sticks into 2s and 3s. So either like that, but since I've only got 4, I'm going like this. If one is a lot longer than the other, I'll show you how to rectify that. What you're going to do is line up one side and then push down on the longer one, supporting it. You only want a few centimeters that you're pushing on, or you'll find that it'll just bend and concertina. But see, your back being the same height again. Now, however many of these you've got, again your 2s and 3s, you're going to twist them together like so. You've got to be a little bit more careful because it's a bit more chunky. It breaks a little easier, and if it breaks again, just push it back together. It's fine. Like so. And you'll see, break like that, absolutely fine. But your stick, as you're twisting, will get shorter and fatter. That is normal. Make sure the twist goes all the way to the end. And then however many of these sticks you've got, so if I had 3 of them, I would line them up on top of each other, and again sets of 2s and 3s, and keep twisting them together in your 2s and 3s until you end up like we're about to with one ball. This is the starting for 3 different types of swirly clay. So you keep folding it on itself until it shapes into a ball that you can't twist no more. So if there were a lot longer sticks, you would have been able to fold that lot on half and twisted them on themselves, but we're there. So this is what I call stage 1 swirly clay, because we've got 1, 2 and 3, and they all have different patterns to them depending on which one you want. I will tell you when we get to the stage which would be next, depending on, let's explain this. Right, if you want either stage 1, stage 2 or stage 3, this middle section is for each of those. Whichever stage you want, I will tell you when you get to the bit where that's where you pick it up from and carry on. Yeah, so stage 1, the inside of that looks like this, very much like camouflage print, very large, blocky, chunky colours. Okay, if that's what you want, then don't cut the ball in half. When you're at this stage, go to the bit where I say this is the pickup for all of them. Yeah, so the next stage on. So disregard the next bit. If you want stage 2, what we're going to do is, you don't need to cut the ball in half. Once you've got it to a ball like this, we're going to roll it out into a long stick. You don't want your stick to go too thin because it's hard to manage, but it all depends on how much clay you've got. Let's face that blade away. So going out into a stick, what can help is if you lift one end and then spin the other and slightly pull, it will bring your stick out quicker. Can you see? Than just doing it all on the board. but doing it on the board will level it into the same thickness. So that's all right for me. I can handle that pretty well. You're going to hold one end still, and with the other, so where this is long, I'm literally doing that off screen there, holding it flat to the counter, and then roll like you did to spin it before. And we're going to get a nice twist of colours like so. Make sure it goes all the way to the ends. Like that. Then we're going to fold it in half, and this is what I was talking about before. If you had longer sticks, you have to fold it in half and twist it on itself. So you're folding it in half, hold one end still and twist it on itself like so. Make sure it goes all the way up to those ends. Fold in half, twist on itself, and you keep doing that until you can't fold it in half anymore, which is about where we're at now. We're in a ball, and I'll show you what that looks like. I'm just going to stick it together, and this is the second tighter level of swirling. I use this probably the most. The first one, it does look very good on certain projects, but I do love this second stage. I use it the most. The third stage is what I use for things like animal hair or grass or things like that, where I really do need a tight pattern. So that's stage 2. See, it's a lot tighter, it's a lot more like an oil slick kind of look. If you want that sort of effect, then you stop here when it's in a full ball, and then you go to the final stage, which I will get to after I've done the third one. So if you want third tightness, we're going to go again and bring it out into a stick. I have found if you try and do it a fourth time, you then start to mix the colours and you don't get a pattern, you just get a new colour. So we're out into a manageable stick, and the same again, hold one end, twist it on itself, and can you see the lines are a lot thinner now? It looks like a tighter swirl already, all the way to the ends. And again, you don't want the lines to completely disappear as one colour. You're on a third stage swirl, you're getting very close to mixing the colours completely. See what I mean? Very, very thin bands. So you don't over twist. At this stage, fold in half, twist on itself like so, in half again, twist on itself until you can't fold it in half anymore, which is here. Let's form this into its ball so I can show you what a third stage twist looks like, and then we will go to the pickup point for all 3 stages. That's stuck together enough to show you. Right, we're going to need to focus, because look at that. Very, very tight. very, very thin colours. It's not even showing up so well on it. It looks quite grey on the film, but in person you can see them a bit more. It's a bit tight for camera, but it is definitely containing all the colours. So either which way, on all three stages you have ended with a ball like this. What we're going to do is you're still going to smooth it into a rough ball so that they're roughly all stuck together. You're not needing to get rid of all those join lines, just make it manageable. I'm going to do that a little bit more because I did chop through it. There we are. Right, from your ball you're going to push on the top, a side, a side, a side. We're going to form a rough cube like so, and whichever stage you're doing, 1, 2 or 3, this is what we're doing. Coincidentally you do end up with a nice liney pattern, but the only time you can use that liney pattern is if you use the whole block like this. What I do with these is I want that internal swirly which goes through the whole block, so not just the skin. What I do is once you're in a rough cube, we're going to get a tissue blade. Doesn't matter how thick or thin, just cut that outside off like so. Don't forget the ends. Now we are not wasting all this. What we're going to do, you can see there's the liney side and there's the swirly side. We are going to take it, put it back on that block, but liney side inwards. You don't have to match the sides up, just get it back on there anywhere. Make sure that any lines that you've got are covered up. Anything that you're not so fond of, like there's a big patch of blue there, I'm going to just plug that in. Just get it all back on there, and what you will find is it's now consistent all the way through. You will not find those liney sections again. I've been at it 5 years. I've never cut into a pattern block or swirly clay and found that skin, because we're just going to roll it out back to a smooth block, and then you've got this whole block of pattern to work with. And I use them for the bases of statues. You can actually sculpt out this whole block and end up with a patterned finished piece. Can you grab me my dragon off the shelf? I'll show you what I've done with as a patterned finished piece with swirly clay. But can you see it's all smooth? Right, you use it like normal clay and you can end up making a whole piece with that sort of pattern swirl.
That's stage 2, isn't it?
That's stage 2, this one. Or you can form, let's get my bases drawers. Bases for statues to sit on. Ooh, let's free that up like this. That's stage 2, and it's been varnished, and you can see you can use it on the backs of crystals. It makes a very good back for your jewellery, and literally a million uses for it. Beads, bowls, all sorts of things. Anything you can just make with clay, you can make with your patterned swirly clay. And I'll show you, no matter where you cut, what angle, where it is, it's all the way through. Yeah, let's pick that lot up. See what I mean? It's all got the same consistent pattern swirls through it. So I hope that helps, and yeah, it's the basis for a lot of projects to come. Have a good week, and I will probably see you all on Wednesday. Okay, like, share, subscribe, all the good things. Bye.